Hey, Shalom Akim. First of all, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashim Yoshai, Pastor Machak Gadash, double honors unto the elders, Apostle Great Millstone, the elders Great Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect. This is here sermons of Yahweh, Bashim Yoshai, serve him in truth and sincerity. Yes, I'm the brother Chayaba from ZMS Plain Temple's camp, coming back with another lesson through his spirit. Yes, this lesson will be based off of Matthew chapter 7 and 13, which, as you can see in the blue letter Bibles, and the subheader is the narrow and wide gates. So it says, Matthew 7 and 13, enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Yeah, and of course, what the strait gate is the truth. The truth being a follower of Yahushai, doing his will, doing his work, doing what he commanded us to do. That's the strait gate. Why? Because and so what does strait mean, by the way? Let's go ahead and get the word for strait within the Greek. The Greek word is stenos, which means narrow. Yes, as narrow, getting the dictionary definition of strait. It says, used in reference to a situation characterized by a specified degree of trouble or difficulty. Yeah. It also says close, strict, or rigorous. Exactly. So, to read again, it says, used in reference to a situation characterized by a specified degree of trouble or difficulty. Yeah, and that's literally what the strait gate is. You know, there's a degree of what trouble and difficulty that comes with it. Of course, what trouble being that obviously we know that the truth and the world don't mix together. So you being in the truth is going to interfere with pretty much, with the world. As the scriptures say, Romans chapter 12 and 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is a reasonable service. Yeah, exactly. So we're supposed to be presenting our bodies a living sacrifice. And, when you do a sacrifice, obviously, you're always, losing something to gain something else. And that's what we do for the truth, us presenting our bodies a living sacrifice unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Well, we're giving our bodies as a living sacrifice. We're giving up the things of this world, and we're coming unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. It says, verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. And when you get that word for conformed within the Greek word is to conform oneself, i.e. one's mind and character to another's pattern. To fashion alike. When you get the word conform within the dictionary, it says comply with rules, standards, or laws. It says behave according to socially acceptable conventions or standards. Yeah, we're not supposed to be doing that. Obviously, we have to, what the scriptures say, use the world, but don't abuse it. I mean, of course, we have to be in, we have to work and we have to maintain with ourselves in the society. As is still standing. We're at the very, very end. Well, this is about to collapse very, very soon. But of course, right now we'll be have to maintain until, that day comes. Could be next month, could be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Point is that, again, we still have to maintain. But the point is that spiritually, mentally, we're not supposed to be conformed to this world. We know exactly what's coming of this world. when I say world, I mean, of course, what this current age that we're in, this current rulership that we're in, being oppressed under our enemies, Esau, Edom, so-called white men, and these the other heathen. Mainly, of course, starting with Esau. So I'll read again Romans chapter 12 and 2. It says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, they may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High." Yeah, so we become renewed through Yahushai, through these scriptures. We're supposed to drop, and of course, any thing that we have, because, we all, of course, came, onto this truth coming out of the world. So anything we gain from, within a world that's against what Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that's against these scriptures, we're supposed to cast that off and put on Yahushai and be renewed. It says that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Yeah. Read this in the NLT. It says, "Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let the Most High transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know the Most High's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect." Yeah. So, that comes with humbling too, letting the Lord reform you into, because, you might think that you're this guy, but hey, ultimately, you're not that guy, man. And what the scriptures say to examine ourselves daily. So, we're supposed to constantly examine ourselves daily, make sure that, we're operating the way we're supposed to through, according to what, of course, what Yahweh Shem Yahushai said. And what? Yeah. It says, "Then you will learn to know the Most High's will for you, which is pleasing, which is good, pleasing, and perfect." Yeah, so examining ourselves is, very important. So going back onto Matthew chapter 7 and 13, "Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." Yeah. Because strait is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few that be that find it. Yeah, and the broad gate is, the easy gate. That's the easy, wide path that you can take. And that's why many people take it, because it's easy. It's accessible, highly accessible. And, there's no friction, with the wide gate, the broad gate. But with the narrow gate, there's friction, it's tight, narrow, it's very difficult, hard, and that's a point. But what the reward passing through that narrow gate, obviously it is the reward that everybody wants. But again, only few are willing to actually pass through that gate to get it. And what Yahweh Shem Yahushai, of course, we're on that narrow path, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that we endure unto the end. Because, hey, we're not saved until Yahushai comes back. Just because we're in the truth, it doesn't mean we're saved. It just means we're called. So we have to endure unto the end. And what? Go through that straight gate, doing the Lord's will, doing this work, going out there in the highways and byways, teaching this word, uploading these videos, doing, the work, doing the work of the Lord, man. Studying, praying, fasting, of course, being within a brotherhood, make sure we're doing what we got to do within a brotherhood. being, of course, charitable, and being in ministry. That's real important. And everything that Yahweh Bashim Yashai has commanded us, we must do it. And again, that's a straight gate. Only few scriptures. That's why the scriptures say, "Few shall be saved," because the elect is a small number, a very small number compared to the rest of the entire world. So yeah, I believe it's a point. Lord's joy, be listened to edified. Yahweh Bashim Yashai Bashim Kakurash Prakatom. Shalom.